have Jacobson family. How are you guys doing today?
Good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So I brought you guys in to meet with me today because we have just reevaluated Jacob at his 6-month mark, and I think this time that we're ready to discharge. So some of the things that I've seen is that he's met all of his long-term goals. So those were for his doing his independent morning routine, improving his attention to 5 minutes when he's at school, being able to put on his outerwear to go outside in the winter, and then also improvement in his ability to kick a soccer ball, do those single leg stands, gross motor type things. And so we've definitely seen a lot of improvement within those areas. How do you guys feel about that? Do you think you've seen the same thing at home? Do you feel like he's definitely improved in those areas?
Yeah, we've definitely seen a lot of improvement with Jacob at home, and we really are lucky to have you guys in the OT team to have helped him up to this point. I feel like the things that you guys have taught him have really been foundational and will help us as we continue on.
That's awesome to hear. So since we both are agreeing on that he's having these improvements and he's met all his goals that we've established, then I'm going to say that I think it is a good time for him to discharge. However, I want you guys to keep in mind that there can be episodic reasons where Jacob might need to come back for therapy. So you might discover as he continues to grow and develop and go through different stages of his life, there might be areas where occupational therapy may be necessary again. So I want you guys to keep that in mind. And when things come up where he's either having those sensory issues again or having another area in his life, don't be afraid to reach out to your PCP or us to get that reevaluation to get back into the routine.
So
I just want to follow up on some education that we had gone through before we discharge, because I don't want you guys to be left in the dust once you're done. And so just want to go over his daily schedule and some of the suggestions we have for the toothbrushing and the attention and those things. So first, I brought this schedule again right here.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to go through and remind you guys how to be using that and continue using it once he's done with OT. So here's the schedule. Yes.
Oh, I thought we were just pointing to them to like have Jacob, like cue Jacob, like this is what's going on.
So
then maybe you can clarify that, because clearly we're really confused.
Yeah. So when you're cueing Jacob, you it depends on where you're at. So if it's the beginning of his day, you can ask him what the first activity is and go in sequential order. So the first activity, if he answers appropriately, then you continue with that. Ask what's next, and if he answers correctly, keep going. If he's having difficulty coming up with the next activity, you can cue by pointing to the schedule, not directly at the area, but point to the schedule and say, Jacob, can you look at the schedule and look what's next in the day or the next activity? And if he has difficulties with that, then you can point directly at the item or picture and ask him what the next activity is. So you're going to go through like a progression. So ask him what the next activity is, point to the schedule to remind him to check the schedule, and then point directly to that activity to get to that point where he answers the question. And then some things to keep in mind when he's doing his daily routine. For the dressing, we got to a point where he was able to do pretty much all of that independently. So you want to make sure that you're encouraging him to keep doing the things he's able to do. So threading the zippers, donning or putting on his hat and gloves, those types of things. You want to make sure that he's doing that himself and only asking for help when he absolutely needs it. But do look for signs of frustration, have him take breaks or something like that if he is getting too frustrated. For the toothbrushing, we're using the visual timer. Have you guys been following through with that at home? Have you seen that working well?
Yeah, we actually, it was delayed on Amazon, but we just got it the other day.
Okay.
And I have to get batteries for it.
Oh, okay. So when you have the visual timer,
That's true.
okay. So once you get the visual timer up and working, we have been doing a certain amount of time for each quadrant, so 30 seconds. for each quadrant. So we've been doing 30 seconds for each quadrant. Yeah.
But he's progressed now.
Okay. Yeah. So we've been doing 30 seconds per each quadrant. So we have the visual timer set up for 30 seconds. Do one quadrant of the mouth, take a break, and then keep doing until we get all 4 quadrants of the mouth. If he starts getting antsy or how much time is left, make sure you're reminding him, look at the timer, only like 10 seconds left, only 5 seconds left, so that he knows how much time is left for the activity, and that'll help him to stay focused and know how much longer he needs to stay focused.
Yeah. The one that we ordered, it's a little bit different than the one that you used here, but I wanted to ask to make sure it's okay. You like pull the timer and then it's kind of like red and then it like goes back so then he can see it versus counting. But do you think that we should have one where he can see the numbers? Is that more age appropriate, or do you think the visual thing is okay?
I think either is fine. Really, I think the visual cue might be helpful for him because I think it is cool. Like, does it change colors? So like when he's getting close to the end of time, it's like it starts green, yellow, red, or something. Okay, so like he knows that, it's almost time to stop based on the colors, so that might be also more helpful than 10 seconds. Yeah, you have this more concrete, color-coded key in his mind. I'm almost ready to stop.
So I think he would like that better just because he's just so young, and I think the colors are like easier for him to understand.
Definitely. Kids always love fun colors more than numbers. And so I think that is mostly it for his routine and getting dressed. Again, just for keeping his attention during other activities, if you can incorporate a timer, even if you're out and in public at a store or something like that, you can maybe give him like the timer on your phone and say, okay, only have 30 seconds left or 5 minutes left, so that he can keep track when you're doing other activities. Like if you're eating in the community and is getting antsy and wants to go do something, say, okay, 5 minutes, and then we can go do something. So I think that might just be helpful to try and maintain that attention, and you continue using the timer throughout his daily routine.
Do you think when we're using the timer to, like, if we're out and about, should we tell him what we're doing next also to, like, so he kind of, even though it won't be like a picture schedule per se, because we can't make those for everything.
Yeah.
Like, I guess saying,
like if you go on
5 minutes and then we're going to do this.
Yeah, I think that would be a great way to encourage him and him to know what to expect so he doesn't get, startled or unsure about what he's going to be doing and still have that already in his head. So.
Okay, cool.
I also think we can apply that with Mia and his younger sister, because I don't want to just single them.
Yeah, I feel like that's good for any of the kids.
Yeah, and I especially because she's a bit younger, and I think that it's always just helpful. There's a younger and an older daughter.
Yes.
So I think it's always helpful, for kids to know, if they have a concept of time, to know how long they're doing that activity, so that they are knowing what to expect and knowing what's going to go on from there. So I think just having that concrete idea is always reassuring.
Yeah, I agree.
And then the last thing that we had made a goal for and collaborated on was his ability to kick a soccer ball and do those activities with single leg stances. And so I know we've definitely seen an improvement of his ability in the therapy clinic, kicking the soccer ball back and forth, doing obstacle course type things. How has he been at his soccer games?
His coordination is definitely better. He's not as clumsy around the ball and when he's running around and stopping and starting and all of that stuff. What do you think?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think the biggest thing for me, like she was saying, was the coordination. Sometimes we'd be walking out on different terrains and things like that, and I would always have to hold his hand because I'd be kind of worried if he was gonna fall or something like that. But I've definitely seen improvement. Like this past weekend, we made a goal, so we were super excited for that, and we wanted to share that with you.
That's great. I'm so happy to hear that. Well, it sounds like he really definitely is applying those improvements that he made. I just want to remind you guys to continue to work on some of those. So in the yard, kick the soccer ball back and forth, establish those skills and make sure that they're continuing on. You guys can also, we have been doing some yoga in the clinic. So if you wanted to pull up, you can find a children's yoga video on YouTube or something like that. I can probably send you home with one that I would recommend. And, just doing some yoga the evening, calming down for the day, but also working on some of those single leg poses that he's able to do and continuing to work on that stability. And
I would need that for myself.
I need it for myself too. So that was just the follow up on education. So the last thing I just wanted to talk about is, since he's being discharged, he's also going to be transitioning to kindergarten soon, so he won't necessarily have us through that, but I want you guys to know that there are services available if you do notice any delays or areas where he's not meeting the typical standards that you want him to meet.
Okay.
And so
what should he know how to do? I guess like he should be starting to write his name and like cutting and stuff like that.
Yeah, so at his age he should be doing cutting out things and so yeah, he should be starting to cut and starting to color with crayons and stuff. And so I'm sure his teacher would also notice if he was having some areas that she was concerned about. But there is the opportunity for occupational therapy in the school system. So if we do find that is a need, you can talk to the teachers, work on getting an educational program in which he would be able to gain OT services in the school system. There's also...
Do you know if that's free?
Yes, in the school system it would be free. He would get the occupational therapy while he is at school during the day. So you wouldn't have to take him to an appointment or anything.
But that would just be helping with the school test, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Just with the school test. So it won't necessarily work on maybe some of those gross motor things that we worked on, like his ability to play soccer and things. But it'll make sure that he's sticking with his classmates and keeping up with the classroom. If he's having difficulties with, he had some difficulties with fine motor with the buttons and zippers.
And I know you guys explored cutting too, but he didn't do that very well, or was it okay?
He did show a little bit of difficulties, but he did well with the scissors that automatically open up.
Okay.
So, like when you're looking at getting him school supplies and things like that, maybe instead of the traditional scissors, you get the ones that have
Can you show
this
us
little yes, here's the scissors. So they have this little tab, you can swing it, and when you press, it automatically pops
Okay.
open.
So it helps.
And I think that just is a little easier on his hands. And these ones, like we have these ones that they look a little different than the classroom scissors, but these ones match like the classroom scissors, and so they won't stand out, but it'll be a little easier on his hands while he is still having a little bit of trouble with some fine motor and gross motor.
With the school OT though, like, will it be kind of in the classroom? Because I don't really know if I would like Jacob kind of getting pulled away from his friends, especially in kindergarten when it's like kind of a new thing and you're trying to make friends. I don't want him to feel embarrassed or ashamed.
Definitely. I can't necessarily answer that for you. There is the option, different options, but it would be something you would have to discuss with the school and the OT. When the services are requested in the school system, you're going to have a meeting that involves a teacher, occupational therapist, anyone else that is needed. And in that plan, you can make your feelings heard that you want him to not be pulled out of the classroom, those kinds of things, or find times maybe when they're doing independent work or something like that, where they could come and take him out if that was need be.
Okay.
So that would be something you would need to address with the teacher and OT at the school system.
Okay, you said that the school OT only focuses on like his school tasks, but what if we are still seeing problems with like the coordination and things like that? Are we still able to come back to you?
Yeah, definitely. So if you're seeing new areas that you think once he reaches kindergarten and you're seeing areas where he's not quite meeting the standards, you definitely can reach out to your PCP, get a referral back to us, and we'll do that reevaluation. We'll look at those areas that you're concerned about, and we can definitely work on addressing them.
Alright.
Did you guys have any other questions?
Not currently, but like we can still, if something comes up like this week, can we still call you to
Yeah,
ask?
definitely. Feel free to email or call. We'll try and get back to you as soon as we can to answer those questions. And you can reach out for as long as you need to. There is, of course, the possibility, like I said, of him coming back. So we want to stay in contact with you guys. Keep hearing some updates. I love to hear updates and about soccer goals and all the fun things. So definitely keep us updated. Every few months, if you just want to call and let us know what's going on, or if you're seeing some things you're concerned about, we can let you know if those are necessary to come into OT, or if he can get those needs supported through school or something else.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for meeting with you guys. It was great working with you.
Quiet.